Hello everyone. So today we will be seeing the remaining portion for the preparation of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Okay. So we have studied the preparation from alcohols and second from the hydrocarbons, and that too in the first division you saw from by free radical halogenation, and second is by the electrophilic substitution. Whenever you talk about the electrophilic substitution, keep in mind that there has to be a catalyst, and the catalyst is iron in dark, okay, or any Lewis acid like ferric chloride or aluminum chloride, etc. But if you use iron, solid iron, it must be in a dark condition. Now today we will start with the named reaction. I hope you are all having your diary with you. We have often said that you have to write all the named reactions in one book so that you can have a revision at the time of examination. Okay, so we will first see the named reaction, that is the preparation of here it is a preparation of haloarenes. Okay, that is by Sandmeyer's reaction. What is it? It is called as Sandmeyer reaction. A scientist called as Sandmeyer reaction. And for what? For the preparation of haloarenes. Okay, not haloalkanes but haloarenes. Now, this is also a very important reaction. Since you want haloarenes, you have to take the reactant as arene, isn't it? And you are taking the haloarene as a benzene ring in which an NH2 group is attached. And what is this compound? Last year you have studied. What is it? This is aniline, isn't it? Aminobenzene, and the common name is aniline. And here the common name and the IUPAC aniline is also recognized as IUPAC name by convention. Okay, so you can call it as aniline. Okay, so I will write aniline, or if you want an IUPAC correct, you can have aminobenzene. So and this is a primary aromatic amine. That is very important. That is a so whenever you write a named reaction, first you have to follow a generic step. That means what is the reactant, is there any catalyst used, and what is the product. Okay, so in that sense, if you want to have in that sense, I will have a generic equation like primary amine. The condition is it must be a primary amine, not a secondary or a tertiary amine. It must be a primary amine. And now what is primary amine? You know what is primary carbon atom? CH2. In the same way, primary amine is NH2. Now what is secondary amine? NH. And what is tertiary amine? N. In the same way, as we come across with the primary, secondary and tertiary carbon atom, the same is applicable to the amine also. The only difference is the group amine is NH2 in organic. When it is, so the generic equation goes like this. That is a primary aromatic amine. So you have to write it as like this, primary aromatic amine. There is condition for this Sandmeyer reaction, and the condition is when treated with sodium nitrate and HCl. Sodium nitrate and HCl. Now, actually, when these two are made to react, you will get simply HNO2. That is nitrous acid. So, primary aromatic amine when treated with nitrous acid. And how nitrous acid is formed? By reacting with sodium nitrate, sodium nitrite and HCl. And also the temperature is very, very important. That is 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. A very low temperature is preferred for this reaction. 0 to 5 degrees centigrade means what? It must be 273 to 278 degree Kelvin, isn't it? 273 to 278 degree Kelvin. We say that in a cold suspension of nitrous acid, this reaction happens. So don't need to write all that. Just give an equation, the generic equation, and then coming back to the fact equation. Okay. So 0 to 5 degrees centigrade, you will get, you will get the benzene ring, okay, benzene ring with N2 plus and Cl minus. Listen very carefully. You are having the first time this compound. This you call it as benzene diazonium chloride, or if it is chlorine, it is chloride. If it is bromine, it is bromide. So normally you take HCl. So normally you will get what? Benzene diazonium chloride. So in the generic equation you can write primary aromatic amine, and on the arrow you have to write NaNO2/HCl, and you have to specify that temperature, that is 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. You will get benzene diazonium chloride. You have to draw the structure and make clear. Okay, so I am writing a benzene diazonium chloride. Diazonium, see, diazonium chloride. Okay, in organic chemistry we have a tendency, or it is a normal this thing, that even if you write the structure, you will write the name after that. In organic chemistry we go like that. Okay, so primary aromatic amine or treatment with sodium nitrite and HCl, you will get a benzene diazonium chloride, and you now know the conditions. This is a two-step process. Okay, you have to get haloarenes, isn't it? We have only got what? Benzene diazonium chloride. Now what you have to do? You have to replace this diazonium chloride with the halogen, which is of our necessity. Now what happens in the second step? We have this benzene diazonium chloride. Okay, benzene diazonium chloride, N2 plus and Cl minus. You have to write this plus and minus. Okay, then plus, or in when it is treated with Cu2X2, that is cuprous halide. It exists as a dimer, so you have to write Cu2X2. If the X is Cl, you will get what? You will get chlorobenzene. See, you got the haloarene, isn't it? You got the, if it is Cu2, Br2, you will get bromobenzene. Correct. So this is a two-step process. Okay, so this is a two-step process. So for this name reaction, the reaction is called as Sandmeyer reaction. So once again I will tell you, first step is starting with a primary aromatic amine. Okay, now when this primary aromatic arene is treated with nitrous acid, this is prepared in situ. In situ means then and there it is prepared. Okay, then you will get benzene diazonium chloride. Then the freshly prepared benzene diazonium chloride is treated with this cuprous halide. You have to write this as a dimer. Okay, so Cu2Cl2 or Cu2Br2. You will get what? You have to, you got the chlorobenzene or bromobenzene. So whatever needed, you have to give that halogen here. So this is called as Sandmeyer reaction. That is the preparation of haloarenes. In the last class, we studied one more preparation, that is the electrophilic substitution. Isn't it? Electrophilic substitution, that means any hydrocarbon or substituted hydrocarbon. We took toluene, remember? You took toluene, then on treatment with iron in dark and chlorine, you will get what? You will get the corresponding chloro substituted derivative of arenes. Okay, this is the second method for the preparation of haloarenes. It's a very, very important method, that is Sandmeyer's reaction. So in organic chemistry, when we are from starting, you have the first named reaction, that is Sandmeyer reaction. You took one page and write this generic equation, that is primary aromatic amine, give the condition, and you will get this, and this you will get the chlorobenzene, and you leave that page. Because if something else we want to add that, the property or the reaction or any condition again, we will go on adding that. So for one reaction, one page you have to leave. Okay, so like that we will continue the named reaction. Okay, so this is the first named reaction, that is Sandmeyer reaction for the preparation of haloarenes. Okay, so hope you got it. Is it clear? This temperature is very, very important. If if the temperature is not there, you lose mark. Pakka, you lose mark. Okay, so this is the Sandmeyer reaction. Now, there is one specifications for this Sandmeyer reaction. That is, if you want to prepare iodobenzene, listen, if you want to prepare iodobenzene, you need not have this cuprous halide or cuprous iodide. Instead of that, if you treat it with potassium iodide, just warm with potassium iodide, this benzene diazonium chloride, on just warming with potassium iodide, you will get straight away, you will get what? Iodobenzene. So that is the specifications in this Sandmeyer reaction. Normally Sandmeyer reaction, when chloride and bromide, you need the chloride or bromide benzene, bromobenzene or chlorobenzene. You treat this benzene diazonium chloride, freshly prepared benzene diazonium chloride with the Cu2X2. That is cuprous halide. But if you want iodobenzene, you straight away just shake with warm potassium iodide. You know, right? In lab you have seen the potassium iodide. So that also we will freshly prepare. So potassium iodide, you will have iodobenzene. Okay, so this is about the Sandmeyer reaction. Okay, so we are on the fourth reaction, that is Sandmeyer's reaction. Okay, hope you have understood. Now moving on to the fifth, that is again the preparation of haloalkanes. Okay, haloalkanes. This is not haloarenes, but this is haloalkanes. We can prepare haloalkanes from alkenes. You know what is alkene? Alkene is double bond. And if you remember, in the last year, we studied a rule which states that whenever a hydrogen halide is treated with a unsymmetrical alkene, when a hydrogen halide, and we specifically studied hydrogen bromide. So when hydrogen bromide is treated with an unsymmetrical alkene, or when it is reacted with an unsymmetrical alkene, what happens? In the HBr, what is HBr? HBr, hydrogen bromide, that it is H plus and Br minus. The negative part of the addendum will go to that carbon atom which contains lesser number of hydrogen atom. Hope you are remembering that. And what is that rule? Anybody? What is that rule? It is called as Markovnikov's rule, isn't it? Markovnikov. So same rule is applying here also. Okay, so get back to that and see whether you can write the product. So, but if it is a symmetrical alkyne, if it is a symmetrical alkene, no problem. What you will get? One will go here, another will go here. So, there is no problem. CH3, CH2, Br. So, if a symmetrical alkene, when it is reacted with hydrogen halide or hydrogen halide, HX or H2O, anything, H plus and OH minus, also nucleophilic addition is there. So, HBr, it will add on. So, this is an addition reaction, right? Addition reaction. There is an alkene forming to an alkane. Okay. So, you can have this haloalkanes, that is bromoethane, isn't it? Now, if it is an unsymmetrical alkene, see, when it is an unsymmetrical alkene, for example, propene, CH3, CH double bond CH2. Whenever you write an organic compound, see whether the valency of carbon is satisfied. That's it. Okay, otherwise everything will go wrong. So, when the CH3, CH double bond CH2 plus HBr, what will you get? You will get, this is an unsymmetrical alkene. So, what will you get? H plus and Br minus. The negative part of the addendum will go to that carbon atom. So, the point here is the addition point. Okay, so we'll go to that carbon atom which contains lesser number of hydrogen atom. Okay, so that is called as Markovnikov's rule. So what will be the product? CH3, CHBr and CH3, because this H will go here. Correct. So the product is CH3, CHBr, CH3. That is isopropyl bromide, common name, and the IUPAC name is 2-bromopropane. Isn't it? So 2-bromopropane. So hope you understood. You have studied earlier, right? So you know that. So I'll give you an example. Just write the product. CH3, CH2, CH double bond CH2 plus H2O. Give me the product according to Markovnikov's rule. Okay. Now, what is anti-Markovnikov's rule? Anyone remembering that? It is called as one effect. What is that? Kharash effect. Now, what is anti-Markovnikov's rule? Anti-Markovnikov's means reverse of that. For example, if I take this example itself, in anti-Markovnikov's rule, what happens? Plus HBr. Anti-Markovnikov's rule or Kharash effect will be applicable, or it will takes place only in presence of what? Only in presence of peroxide. That is why it is also called as peroxide effect. For example, H2O2. So anti-Markovnikov's rule is applicable or will take place only in presence of a peroxide, and reverse to the Markovnikov's it happens. What happens? The negative part of the addendum will go to that carbon atom which contains higher number of hydrogen atom. So the product changes, isn't it? So what is the product? CH3, CH2, CH. The bromine will come here. So it will be CH2, CH2Br. See, this is the product. That means the negative part will go to that carbon atom which contains higher number of hydrogen atoms. See, here it is only 1, here it is 2. But Markovnikov says that the negative will go to that carbon atom which contains lesser number. That is Markovnikov. This is anti-Markovnikov. It only takes place under peroxide, which is called as peroxide effect. So in that case, the negative part of the addendum will go to that carbon atom which contains higher number of hydrogen atom. So what it happens? This bromine will go to here. That is CH2. So it will be CH2Br. And here it is CH2. The CH will come CH2 and CH2 will become CH2Br. So what is the name? What is the name? It is bromobutane. UPSC. Bromobutane. Isn't it? Or butyl bromide. That is common name. Okay. So this is both Markovnikov's as well as anti-Markovnikov's rule for the preparation of haloalkane. See, it is not arene, it is alkane. Okay. So this is the, I think it is the 5th preparation, right? 5th preparation. Okay. Now moving on to the 6th preparation. Hope you understood. Okay. So moving on to the 6th preparation, that is again from alkenes. Same. Again from alkenes. But here, instead of HBr or HCl or H2O, here you are taking the bromine in CCl4. Instead of HBr, you are taking bromine water, you say. Okay, bromine water or bromine in CCl4. CCl4 is a solvent. Okay. Now what happens, you see, you know, for example, if you say a symmetrical alkene, for example, CH2 double bond CH2 plus bromine, okay, in presence of CCl4, okay, or you will call it as bromine water. Now here one speciality is there. A Viva question is there. That is, bromine water is normally reddish brown in color. What color? Reddish brown in color. Now, if any alkene, remember not alkyne, alkene. Alkyne also gives, but alkene, when treated with bromine water or bromine in CCl4 in a solvent, naturally what happens? Two bromine. So one will go here, one will go here. So it will be CH2Br and CH2Br. You get haloalkanes, dihaloalkanes you get as the product. Now, this is, or this reaction with bromine water is a test for unsaturation. What do you mean unsaturation? Unsaturation means whether the compound is having a double bond or a triple bond. Isn't it? That is unsaturation. Saturation means all the single bonds. So, this is a test for unsaturation. That is bromine water test. It's a Viva question. So, how you will observe, or what is observation when bromine water is treated with an alkene? So, you will definitely get what? A saturated compound, but you can't see that. But you can see the color changing. That is, the orange or the reddish brown will decolorize and it forms colorless. That is how you say that this is an alkene or an alkene or unsaturated compound. That is, if bromine water, the reddish color of the bromine water gets decolorized to colorless, so that means that the compound which is reacting is an unsaturated compound. That is why this reaction is also known as test for unsaturation. What is it? Test for unsaturation. Got it? So this is test for unsaturation. So that is bromine water or bromine in CCl4. The reddish brown color gets disappeared, or decolorization of reddish brown color. Okay, so that is the 6th preparation for haloalkanes. Okay, now how many preparation you studied today? That is, first is Sandmeyer's reaction. So there are 2 steps. Just remember like that. In Sandmeyer's reaction, there are 2 steps. One is the formation of benzene diazonium chloride, N2 plus and Cl minus. What is the starting point or raw material? That is aniline, or you can say aminobenzene. That is a primary aromatic amine. Primary means CnH2. Okay. So when a primary aromatic amine, what is the condition? Condition is treated with sodium nitrite and HCl, or you can say nitrous acid, HNO2. In order to form the nitric acid, you are getting the two reactant, that is nitric amine, the sodium nitrite and HX or HCl. Then benzene disonium chloride is formed, and in the second step, benzene disonium chloride is treated with cuprous halide. Then you will get the corresponding chloro or bromo benzene. But in that, if you want to get an iodobenzene, you just shake or warm with potassium iodide to benzene disonium chloride. You will get iodobenzene. Okay. Now the second reaction we studied today is from alkenes, that is according to the Markovnikov's rule, that is hydrogen halides. Okay. Third is bromine in water or bromine in CCl4. That is a test for unsaturation. You will get halobenzene. Clear? Hope you understood, right? Now moving on to the next preparation. Okay. Next two more preparation is there. That is again a named reaction. Again a named reaction. So today we are going to the second named reaction. Okay, which is called as Finkelstein reaction. What is it? Finkelstein reaction. Okay. Now this reaction is mainly, this is not a general reaction. This reaction is mainly for preparing haloiodides. See, so whenever you write or make notes on it, you have to write Finkelstein reaction and in bracket iodoalkanes. Okay, haloalkanes. No, it is specifically for preparing the iodoalkanes. Okay. Now this Finkelstein reaction is also called as halogen exchange reaction. What is it? Halogen exchange reaction. Okay. But it is given a name as Finkelstein reaction. So the second named reaction will be Finkelstein reaction. Okay. Now we will write the generic one. Generic one means what? Any haloalkane, but it won't be iodine because we have to prepare iodine. Other than iodine, that means here I can represent X is equal to Cl and Br. Normally, fluorine we won't take because of the high reactivity. So normally if you talk about halogens, you always comes into mind as chlorine, bromine and iodine. And chlorine being very electronegative, it won't, the reaction with fluorine does not happen easily. That is why. Okay. So X is equal to ClBr plus, see, the reactant is NaI. Very, very important. See, when this Rx, R can be any alkyl group, X can be chlorine or bromine. When it is treated with sodium iodide, what happens? An exchange of halogen happens. See, this X will go here and this iodine comes here. See, so there is an exchange of halogens. Okay, so what I will get? I will get Ri plus NaX. See, Ri plus NaX. Now there is again one small condition or a small catalyst like dry acetone is needed. See, that is halogen exchange reaction or Finkelstein reaction only for the preparation of iodoalkanes. Remember, a specific preparation for preparing iodoalkanes. Okay, now what happens? Any alkyl halide except fluorine and chlorine and bromine plus sodium iodide, because you need to have iodine, right, in presence of dry acetone. Now why you put dry acetone? Because dry acetone, this NaX, that is the byproduct, will get precipitated in this dry acetone. Thereby you can get this Ri very effectively, you can take away that. Okay, so that is why you are getting this dry acetone. So this is called as Finkelstein reaction or halogen exchange reaction for the specific preparation of what? Iodoalkanes. Got it? It's very simple. Okay. So this is the sixth or seventh preparation of preparing haloalkanes. Okay. Now we will see the last preparation, which is also a named reaction. So see, today we studied three named reactions. First one is Sandmeyer's reaction, second is the Finkelstein reaction, and third is we are going to study that is Schwarz reaction. What is it? Schwarz reaction, that is SWART is that Schwarz reaction. Schwarz reaction, and this Schwarz reaction is also specifically for fluorides. So in order to prepare fluorides, halofluorides, you have this Schwarz reaction. And this is again what? This is again a halogen exchange reaction. Remember, halogen exchange reaction. So this is also the same reaction, that is RX. Okay, and the X must be chlorine, bromine. Since it is fluoride, you can also have iodine, isn't it? Just be logical. What are taking, what X, what we are taking. You want only fluorine, so you can have the excess iodine. In the former case, you avoid iodine. Why? Because one of the reactant is iodine, because we want to prepare iodo-alkanes, isn't it? So here, the RX plus iodine, normally we take AgF. That is silver fluoride or any metal fluorides, heavy metal fluorides. For example, SbF3. Antimony fluoride you can have. Then you can have cobalt fluoride, or you can have mercury fluoride. Any of this one you can have. But I prefer go for it AgF because it is very easy. Okay, just see whether the question paper, maybe they will ask for SbF3. But whenever you see SbF3 and RX, just get into mind that it must be for the replacement of fluorine. So that is Schwarz reaction. So there is also an exchange. See, X will go here and the fluorine will come to the alkyl halide. Therefore, RF plus AgX. See. So this is again the preparation of haloalkanes, and specifically for what? Fluorides. Okay. So now you have an idea of how the organic reactions works, isn't it? How it works. There are so many conditions will be there. Okay. Not only the catalyst, the temperature also will be necessary for some reactions, isn't it? In some reactions there is no catalyst and nothing, just like it happens, isn't it? So these are the various variations we see in the chemistry behind this organic reactions. So these are the preparations you have to come across with this first, that is for preparing haloalkanes as well as haloarenes. Okay. So once again I will summing up because it is new to you, that is why. First we talked about alcohols, isn't it? Now from alcohols, how you will prepare alkanes? Three types. Remembering, one is HX, concentrated halogen acids. Second is thionyl chloride, and third is phosphorus halides. And thionyl chloride is preferred. Board exam question. Why? Because the byproduct is the two gases are easily escapable. That is why you will get a pure alkyl halide. Now concentrated HX in presence of zinc chloride, it is called as Lucas catalyst. In that again division comes for primary and secondary, you need a catalyst, whereas for tertiary, you need not need a catalyst. Just by shaking at room temperature, you will have this haloalkanes, isn't it? Now in phosphorus halides, it may be two types, phosphorus trihalide and phosphorus pentahalide. And what about the reactivity there? Reactivity is as the size of the iodine, the halogen increases. So Ri greater than Rbr, greater than Rcl, greater than Rf. And one more board exam question, if you are remembering, this method is not used for preparing aryl halides. Why? What is the answer? Why? Because you know. Why? Because of the partial double bond character of this phenol. Or whenever you talk about aryl, it will be like this, right? It will be like this. So resonance happens. So there is a partial double bond character for this oxygen, correct? So that is why. Okay, so that is why this bond is very, very strong. Double bond means very strong, sp2 hybridization. So that is why it cannot happen, correct? That is the first preparation. Now second preparation is from hydrocarbon. First one is the free radical halogenation. How is that? The catalyst is halogen in presence of sunlight. But that is not so much preferred because so many compounds are formed, or isomers are formed. So it cannot be get into the pure form. So that is why we neglect that. But still It is one of the preparation of preparing haloalkanes. Okay, by many other methods you can purify them. So that is why we say it is a free radical halogenation. That's all. Now the third method is electrophilic substitution. That means the preparation of haloarenes. That is iron in dark or any Lewis catalyst. Okay, that is from hydrocarbon or substituted hydrocarbon. You are pointing? Okay. Now, then comes the very famous Sandmeyer's reaction. And the Sandmeyer's reaction is also for the preparation of what? Haloarenes. And there are two-step process. One is primary aromatic amine on treatment with HNO2/HCl. Temperature is very important, 0 to 5 degree. It's a cool temperature. Okay, that is why they are calling as cold suspension. This reaction is taking place. So 0 to 5 degrees Celsius, you will get benzene diazonium chloride. That is benzene with N2 plus and Cl minus. You normally write like this. There is no bond. You will see. See, it is like this. N2 plus and Cl minus. Okay, that is benzene diazonium chloride. The second step is when it is treated with cuprous halide, you will get the corresponding haloarenes. And on that division, iodide, just simply shake it with warm potassium iodide. Then comes alkenes, Markovnikov's rule, hydrogen halide. Then comes bromine in CCl4, test for unsaturation. See how it goes, isn't it? One by one in your mind. Then comes what? Finkelstein reaction. Is also called as halogen exchange reaction. Here, Finkelstein reaction is mainly for the preparation of, particularly for what? For the preparation of iodoalkanes. That is sodium iodide in dry acetone. Isn't it? Then the last is Schwarz reaction for the preparation of fluoroalkanes. That is any heavy metal fluoride like AgF, antimony trifluoride, cobalt fluoride, mercury fluoride. Anything you give it, you will get this corresponding fluoroalkanes. So all these are the preparation of what? Preparation of haloalkanes as well as haloarenes. Okay, hope you understood. Now we will move on to the physical property that we will see in the next session. Okay, so till then there is some in-text questions there. Okay, if I say you have to just go through it. Now when you, after studying this, just go through it. Okay, just go through it. Then you will have an index questions as example 10.4 and the 10.2 to 10.5. See, homework is 10.2 to 10.5. Just go through it and have a try. Any problem, just give me a call. So till then, thank you.